What up? Y'all know it's Monday night, so we're here to talk a little bit more, primarily WWE, but a little AW tonight. We got this thing called Crown Jewel coming up, and gotta dig into it, right? We gotta get our meat, gotta get the teeth into it. We get into the meat and potatoes of what's gonna happen. But this is your boy Cool McCain, and I am joined by my guy, the Playmaker. What it do?
What's up? What's going on? About to hit the 11th month of the year,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Day after
and the fun
tomorrow.
and the fun will dare begin.
And when we get to our AEW segment, we're going to have our dedicated AEW respondent, Mr. Steve Schwando, join us to talk a little AEW. But in the meantime, got a lot of WWE to talk, right? A whole lot. So, Playmaker, we are going to start, as we always do, with what happened a week ago on Monday Night Raw.
You mean that chaotic behind Raw that we had to witness last week?
Yes, sir. That cluster cluck of a Raw that we saw. That is what I am referring to.
They, just me, they taking out Cody Rose.
I mean, so for that, what I'm going to say, and I mean this with all sincerity when I say it, we did this with the arm, now we're doing it with the leg. Are we just trying to get him off TV for a while? That's fine, cool, but at least it was a leg, so you can't hobble out and fight people with one leg. You can fight you with one arm, you can't fight you with one leg. So maybe we'll get a month or two of Cody free Raw, which may be a good thing for the character and which may be a good thing for Raw because it'll allow main event Jay Uso to kind of, what I'm saying, get a little bit more shine, maybe a little bit more attention. But it's just the continual, let's take Cody Rhodes out, let's beat Cody Rhodes up. We already had this happen. So unless you're just planning to give him a little bit of time off and this is your way to write him off, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But we'll see over the weeks how it plays out. That I feel like that's fair.
He still has a match coming up though.
Supposedly. But how you gonna fight a match on one leg?
I guess
You
we're
know what
gonna
happens
find
when you
out
take a
tonight.
one when you take a one-legged man to a ass whooping contest, you know what happens.
That might be the
So
point.
that may be the point, sir.
So you got that, and yeah, Crown Jewel Saturday. So it might not be the last time we talk Cody Rose.
Right. I mean, my thing is Priest versus Rhodes at Crown Jewel. Would that be good? Yeah. But if we save that, then that may make it more interesting, honestly. Right. Or if we have a replacement for Cody Rhodes. But my thought is if you're going to take and have Cody Rhodes get hit in the knee, you can't have him then come out in less than 2 weeks and have a real match with Damian Priest. Like you just can't do that. But we'll see because we never know where they're going when we're discussing WWE. A lot of questions about what they're going to actually do. That's kind of my thing. So we'll see. What are your thoughts, man?
If if we need to get Cody off, then that means Crown Jewel is not gonna be fun for a certain crowd.
Well, we can have Cody come out and say, I can't compete because of what y'all did to me, but such and such is going to compete in my place. That's your way to still get the Cody pop.
Hmm. Gotcha. Uh,
Yeah.
and to be honest, there's only one. There's only one match I'm actually looking forward to when it comes to Crown Jewel. I want to see these five women destroy each other.
Yeah. Crown Jewel is it's going to be interesting once we get to breaking that down. It's going to be interesting. Um, like you said, it's they haven't built up a lot of excitement. This feels like an AEW pay per view in a way to me because it's like we're just throwing things together at the last minute here. We're not really. I mean, I get the whole thing with Damian Priest and Cody Rhodes, because of the the things that have been going on between him and the Judgment Day. But a lot of these just feel like they're kind of thrown together, right? So
Well, you can do that when you go to Crown Jewel when you're going over there, because
you can, but it's
get through that
way.
and then the fun goes.
I mean, I get it, but when you do that for me, I lose a little interest in it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I've already got one show I watch that does that, so I don't need you doing that too. So
I
it's just
mean,
me.
yeah. Well, I'll say my comment when we get there, and I
Yeah,
think I
that's
think
just
you'll
me.
probably agree. Yeah, I think you'll agree with me when I say, it. But these 5 ladies, yeah, I'm I'm looking for it, and I love what Rhea's doing.
That was a nice brawl they had. That was a good
Oh,
brawl they had.
that was a brawl. I loved it. And for once, Rhea wasn't the brutality one on this one. She was, hey, you know what?
No, she wasn't.
Y'all have fun. Y'all have fun. I'm gonna be right here. I love that.
Real
So
like,
that's something
real like, I
different of
ain't
Rhea
stupid.
Rip.
Yep. And the fact that she can lose the championship without being pinned, and we're not talking about like a 3. This is a 5-way match. So you can have. I mean, we know who's going to eat the pin. We just don't know who's going to pin her. We know who's going to eat the pin. I mean, we'll get to that, but we know who's going to eat. Me and you know who's the person's going to eat this pin.
Interesting,
You
but
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But yeah, man. Raw was very all over the place for sure.
chaotic, like I said.
You know, you got yeah, you got the DIY officially back together. They're gonna face Imperium this week tonight,
That should be fun.
and then Tozawa got beat down by Big Bronson Reed. I don't mind Tozawa. Actually, I kind of like Tozawa in the Alpha Academy. But what I would like for them to do is actually have Tozawa team up with what's
He's not
the
go.
big guy
Is he? This is a full
Otis.
time thing, or this is just a thing for Tessa has to on for a while so we can laugh because
I wouldn't
unbelievably
mind
well,
having I wouldn't mind having Tozawa and Otis as a tag team. I wouldn't mind that.
bruh. Tozawa is like, how can I put this? I'm trying to find the
Enhancement
right
talent.
better. No, I'm trying to find it because when you see him, you know you finna laugh.
Yeah.
You just
Comic
know you
relief.
gonna laugh because he really. Who goes up to Bronson Reed and like, I want to fight you and slap the man on the chest?
A guy who's bought a little bit too much into
That's why
about
you
has bought a little
laughing.
bit too much. A guy's bought a little bit too much into the character. That's who, sir.
That's why you laughing. It's like, yeah, who really does that?
Yeah. Guys bought too
Like,
much into the character. That's who that is.
like, the biggest dude you can find, you slap him on the chest. Like, yeah, really.
Yeah, not a highly intellectual moment for Tozawa for sure.
And Maxine about to lose her mind. I was rolling too. No, this is
Maxine
not
out there
what.
like, yeah,
This is
Maxine
not
out there
what
like,
he
what is
had in mind.
Maxine out there like, this dude is freaking insane. And she is correct. He is insane. Yeah, Tozawa makes the fact that he makes these bad decisions, it gives you a chance to kind of still get the funniness from Tozawa, but you can kind of move him in a different route too. So that's what I like about it. You know what I'm saying? You can have Tozawa, he can do his thing, but you can move him to a different route as well. So I kind of like that about it. I think it wouldn't be a bad fit. You need to do something with him instead of just having him walking around looking crazy.
Walking around and walk
So
the other way when he see Rhea Ripley.
right.
That
Because
man
you know
is
you gotta,
damaged. That man is
yeah, he
damaged.
is. He is. And who better to repair him than you?
And shout out to Xavier Woods trying to hype up Tozawa. Like, bro, he ain't doing nothing really. He's just moving side to side.
Yeah. There's not a lot that's gonna happen. That is 100% accurate. That is the highest level of accuracy that I've been a part of. I definitely agree with that. And it was fun to see. But I was like, I always wonder, like, oftentimes wonder with some of these guys, like, what are they really trying to do with them? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you really trying to do with Tozawa by putting him in this situation? No favors have been done to Tozawa, that is for sure. No favors have been done to him.
No favors whatsoever. None. Like, bruh. Like, no. Why is you? It's all good. You got your behind whoop. Going to backstage and Xavier Woods. See you do your little dance and Xavier's like, nasty. I'm like, really, Xavier? Really? Why are we hyping this up?
Xavier was wrong for that. He is wrong for that.
I don't need you hyping this up.
No, will not deny that, sir. He is wrong for that. You know, I can't argue with truth. And that, sir, is truth. Anything else from Raw that you would like to discuss, sir?
I think we're gonna be waiting a little longer for Drew McIntyre turns heel.
Yeah, yeah. They may actually be going completely different from what they were going to start doing. But here's the one point that could bring everything back. What if Drew McIntyre loses, which we think he is at the Crown Jewel? Then what happens?
I got time. I'm still torn on that match because that match
But
that
what
match
if,
gonna have that match got a lot of riding on it.
yep, but I'm saying if he loses that match, that might be when that heel turn comes. You feel me?
Because
That could
when
be
we
the
get to that
moment where
match,
you say, like,
see,
I'm gonna be a
when we
heel.
get to that match, I'm gonna bring up Rhea Ripley again because she somehow found her way in the middle of this whole thing right now.
I don't think she's gonna have time to worry about interfering in that match because she's got some of her own stuff going on. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying though, she's out here, talking to Jew in the background, and last week she was talking to Seth Rollins and kind of made him feel some type of way because she brought up the tribal chief.
Yeah, she did it on purpose. She
Oh,
definitely
I
did it
know.
on purpose.
She's great. Oh, you be seeing this side of Rhea Ripley. I'm loving this side. The sweet. Let's make a deal, Rhea Ripley here. I love it.
The leader of the Judgment Day.
As Cody Rhodes put it.
They can, yeah, you can call it de facto or whatever you want. She's the leader. She's the head female in charge. She run that.
Oh yeah, she definitely
This
runs.
is Rhea and then everybody else. That's how this is working right now. Yeah, this is how this is working. So in case you were unclear, that's what's happening with that. Rhea is the person in charge.
She's definitely a marine leader.
So any
Okay.
other thoughts?
Nope. We can go
Anything else
right
on
to the
from Raw?
Nope. We can go right to the other section.
All right, so SmackDown was a very interesting show.
So we technically ran the play, but the play ended up with a oos through a table.
Yep.
That's how we kicked off the show.
Yep.
Not to mention the fact LA Knight just come out and just interrupting Roman Reigns' entrance out the gate. Let's just do that out the gate.
That was well. The thing is, you have to do something to lend some credibility to LA Knight, right? Because at the end of the day, if LA Knight beats Roman Reigns, this is the biggest upset I've ever seen. Like straight up, if that happens, so you have to do something to at least put some question marks into this match because you don't want to go in Crown Jewel with a match everybody knows the outcome. Even though you are going into Crown Jewel with a match everybody knows the outcome, you at least want to create some question marks. Like, could it possibly happen? Could they really be able at that point where they're about to take the belt off Roman Reigns? You know, I don't think anybody reasonably believes that over the age of 12, but you at least got to create the question if there's a possibility of that happening.
I mean, damn, just Roman Reigns, he ain't even get to raise his belt up.
You know why he didn't get to raise his belt up?
LA Knight.
Because you
That
want to
was
create that.
That was some real Stone Cold-ish right there from LA
It
Knight.
was. It was. And that's what they've been wanting from him. Like, if you
Like
think
that was
about it, that's what
crazy.
they've been wanting. Not necessarily Stone Cold, but you know what I'm saying? Like, LA Knight putting his own spin, his own twist on things. That's what they've been wanting.
Yep, pretty much.
So they got that. We'll see if they run with it, but they definitely got it. Um,
I'm on the injury reserve list. What? I'm off the injury reserve list. I can go.
so speaking of that, one of the other things we're going to talk about, we can talk about it now. The Bloodline, man. What do you believe from what you've seen previously plus last week? What do you think is the outcome from the whole Bloodline thing? What do you feel like they're going next?
Going what you've been saying for ever since we've been doing this show. And I think the week is here for it. I believe this weekend will show that what you wanted will come to fruition.
And for
Because
those
you
of you
say
who,
because you say they got to make LA Knight look credible, right?
mm-hmm,
Well, spoiler alert, people. He can't lose cleanly to Roman Reigns over in Saudi Arabia.
they cannot. And if you don't want him to
Thing
lose cleanly, what do?
the thing is, Solo got a best match of his own over there, so we gonna say that for now.
Mm-hmm.
And the way things going, Jimmy is getting his butt kicked left and right. Official match or non-official match.
So I do have a question for you about that. What's the point of Jimmy losing all the time? What do you feel is the point of Jimmy losing all the time? Let me say that.
That's a good question because now that I think about it and everything afterwards, because Roman Reigns is not treating Jimmy like he did Jay.
He's not.
Because when Jay lost, Roman felt some type of way.
He did. Why could that be? That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, that's the question, and Jay Uso is the main event Jay Uso because of Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
Do they really
Does,
want Jimmy
does
to be
like
the right hand man?
right? Doesn't feel like they're getting the same thing to Jimmy that they gave to Jake. You know
So
what I'm saying?
but it's one of those you family, so I can keep you around, you family.
Mm-hmm.
But you ain't getting the same treatment as because me and him, we like this, or we
You're not
was
getting the
like.
same rub or anything. You're not basically. You didn't replace Jay. Like, you weren't brought in. They didn't say, okay, well, we're gonna bring you back and you're gonna replace Jay. Now in Jimmy's mind, he replacing Jay, but in all realism, he's not. You feel
No,
me?
he's not. He's
Yeah, in Jimmy's
definitely not.
mind, he is. But Jimmy's mind is a wild place. And then Jimmy came out cutting promos about Roman Reigns and how whatever with Roman Reigns. And now you got Roman Reigns. Now you got him working for Roman Reigns. When he first came back saying how he didn't want to work for nobody and John Cena was just like Roman Reigns and all that. And then all of a sudden, just in the middle of a show, he did a 360. So you got WWE got some explaining to do with this, right? And that's what I've been saying. Like, we talked about how great this storyline was for a long time. If you don't inject new blood right now, this is about done. Like, it's almost at the end. There's not going to be a lot to move forward from if you don't do something about this. You have to explain how he decided he wanted to be back in the bloodline. You're going to have to do something with Roman and that relationship and bring in fresh blood because 3 people's not enough. Bloodline had you when they had numbers with Jay and Sammy. Right? That's when they were the strongest, when they had Jay and Sammy. So you got to, I tell you who needs to come in. Jacob and Zilla, the Fatus.
Mm,
That's what needs to come in. They may do something different, but you need new blood. And it would not hurt to also get Ava Rain. So what if you could get, what if this weekend you get Ava Rain, right? Then what
mhm.
if you get Zilla and Jacob either this weekend as well or on SmackDown next week? Now that brings some interest back because you've pretty much ruined to me Jimmy's character unless you're going to do a whole nother rebrand of Jimmy because the Jimmy music don't fit the Jimmy character. The Jimmy words don't fit the Jimmy actions. Like it's messing up the story in my opinion because you were telling such a great fluid story and now you starting to
Jimmy,
see kinks and cracks and questions in it.
Jimmy and Doug is in the same position. Who can flip that switch on them?
You said Jimmy and who was in the same position?
Angelo Dawkins.
Well, I say this. For me, Angelo is better than Jimmy right now. The character he's portraying is better. Jimmy's character just like all over the place, but I feel you on the switch for Angelo. The switch is gonna flip when they get the title match. That's when we're gonna see Angelo flip the script. For me. Until then, we're gonna get a little bit of that nice happy guy. But once they get that championship match and Bobby like, yo, it's your shot. You talking about you want it, you better go get it. That's when we're gonna see Angelo go full dark side. And that moment, sir, I might have a tear. I might shed one tear from happiness.
That's what's missing from Jimmy. That that switch need to come.
But see, Jimmy, the problem with Jimmy is he think he already there. Angelo don't think he's there. He know like he's hesitating, he pulling back, he not all the way sold.
And you
Jimmy
know the funny,
believes like
you know the
he's
funny
that
thing
guy.
is, you know
He
the
believes
funny
he the
thing
right
is,
hand.
you know the funny thing is,
What's that?
when we did see the switch, guess what happened at? It happened at Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
I need Jimmy to get to the point when enough is really enough.
Like I said,
Because for them few weeks afterwards, I'm like, this is the Jimmy I like right here.
man, I don't know what it's gonna take, but there needs to be some kind of catalyst. So this whole point with Jimmy is worthless. Maybe it takes new members coming in and you falling down the pecking order. Maybe that's what brings the correct type of aggression, the as John Cena would say back in the day, the ruthless aggression out of Jimmy. Right now, Jimmy's a clown. Let's just put out it. Jimmy's a clown that's just hanging with Roman and Solo right now. He's all bark and no bite. That's
And
what Jimmy is right now.
all three were looking at him like, why are we dealing with this right now?
Yep. That's what I see.
I want a word came down from the family members like, y'all better take care of him. And they're like, all right, we'll take care of him.
We never know, sir. Maybe that's the story that's gonna happen. Maybe whatever, but you need to explain it. Like I say, you did such a great job with this for so long, and then you made Jay a megastar. You did. You made Solo a superstar. And then Jimmy was on his way to at least being a superstar, and then he just went back to the bloodline, threw his one up, and now he's a clown. So you got to figure out how to retroactively correct the mistake with Jimmy. Or if this is part of a longer story, you better get to moving along in another direction because I'm not as interested in watching to see the bloodline anymore. I don't care as much about watching Roman Reigns anymore. I don't care as much about watching Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa anymore. And Jimmy's the main reason for that because he's supposed to be that guy between Roman and Solo, and he couldn't beat a 5-0 right now. You got to do something about it. You got to figure it out. The era of invincibility is gone, and it's due to Jimmy because Jimmy's the one that's getting beat down. Got to fix it. Whatever y'all gonna do, I'm giving you a little time, but after Crown Jewel, I'm gonna need to see something different, or I'm gonna have to find something else to follow. Maybe I'll start following the Judgment Day closer. I don't know, but it's gonna be something besides the bloodline. You better show me something.
He giving y'all this weekend. I'm giving you to Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, because he's a little more loving of y'all than I am.
Hey, I've been with the bloodline since day one. Okay.
I've been with the bloodline since day one too.
No,
But
when I
at the
say
end of
day,
the day,
when I say day one, I mean like back in the day. Day
I
one.
know what you mean. Since Jimmy and Jay came out with Tamina Snooker, since Roman Reigns came up with um the Shield.
No, we go back farther than that. Remember, my favorite wrestler is part of that family.
Well, most people's favorite wrestler is part of that family, sir.
So
Name a
yes,
name name a group of people who don't have at least The Rock in their top three. It's not a lot of people who don't. You know what I'm
who
saying?
can you have in your top three if it's not The Rock?
I mean, you know, some people may go four with Mount Rushmore, but if The Rock is not, I'll even be more generous to everybody because I'm feeling generous tonight. The Rock is in everybody's top five. How about that? I'll even give you five. So I'll give you four other people that you can put over The Rock if you need it. I don't need four other people to put over The Rock, but if you do, I'll give you that.
Anyway, so that's bloodline business. We'll see where
Yeah,
they go.
yeah. It wasn't
I'm
gonna take
giving it
long
to
to talk about
Thanksgiving
that.
weekend. I'm giving it to Survivor Series here.
Good for you.
Show me something.
After
Show me,
this
but
week,
I'm saying
I
with
start
Jimmy,
to tune down
I
back a
don't,
little bit after this week.
I
And
don't,
I'll
I
give
don't
you the
question his
Thanksgiving
observation.
all the way, but I'm gonna start to care a little bit less week by week. You know what I'm saying? And then we
I
saw
just
the
need to know.
what you need to know.
I just need to know when that road to Tampa starts. I need to know what direction we going here.
But see, that's the thing. And that's why I'm starting to slightly lose interest. We didn't ask those questions up until now. This time last year, we knew where things were going. This time 4 months ago, we knew where things were going. You see what I'm saying? This is the first time in this storyline that you've had to ask where things going. This is the first time we like, well, I don't know. Like we don't know who the people was, but we know Roman was going to continue to win. The Usos was going to continue with the tag team championships. When is Solo going to get a belt, bro? You mean tell me Solo can't be? Let's see. SmackDown has the United States Championship right now. Solo can't be the United States champion right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. What we doing? Solo just gonna walk around and beat people up and help Jimmy. The only time Jimmy can win is if he got Solo with him. That's all Solo gonna do. We need more. We need more.
Speaking of the United States Championship, somebody took a punch in the
Mm-hmm.
backstage and ended up costing LWO a title match. I mean, not a title
They
match, but a
got
match.
they got the Santos got the revelation from Montez and Angelo. I love the new move, the revelation. I like it.
It's pretty
That's
much
the
that's pretty much Tyson O'Neil's finishing move with the net breaker.
yeah. But you rename it and you put it on a team that people already like.
I
That's how
guess
it
they did
goes.
it because I guess they did it because I think they talked about the other one that they was doing, but you had concerns about because they weren't timing it right.
Mm-hmm. So you
So
have to
I
do
guess they
something
want.
where you more safe.
But I actually liked that move, man. Launch somebody in there, and all of a sudden you get German suplex after that.
Yeah, but you got to worry about what I'm saying. Yeah, because if you don't hit that right, yeah. See, the revelation is something that even if you don't hit it completely right, the other person's gonna be safe. That's taking the move. So I like that they made that switch. Like Cody, like I like that they took the belts off Cody and Jay, because I ain't like that finisher either. I can see people getting jacked up bad from that finisher.
Let's see
So yeah, look,
how that's gonna respond. How Ray's gonna respond to that Friday night.
and how long Santos or Carlito is gonna take before they go ahead and make a move away from the LWO. I see one of them leaving. All right, and then we had the John Cena
Um,
promo on Solo. Any thoughts on that promo?
I'm gonna say that for Crown Jewel. I'm just gonna say it for Crown Jewel.
Okay, that's fair.
But I would say though, my girl got
That's
herself
fair.
a title match at Crown Jewel. But
Mm-hmm.
before we get there, I want to have a word
Bianca
with
laid out
Bailey
her
on.
plan.
I want to have a word with Bailey on SmackDown. Those of you who watch wrestling, you know what I mean by word. She's
Have at
on
it,
a
sir.
mission.
Have your word.
She's on a mission. Well, she can't do nothing with the Dakota
Let the
Kai
people know what that mission is.
because we don't know when Dakota Kai gonna be cleared for competition again.
Right?
So I don't know what you can do with her. But the main target, even though EO does have the title, and the title should be the main target, but the main target is Billy. You put me on the shelf for what? 2 months, 3 months? Yeah, me and you, middle of the ring Friday night, we gonna have some words. And it ain't coming out the mouth, coming from the fist. I might actually be looking forward to that match than the match in Crown Jewel. Cause this is the thing getting interesting. Because when she says she's on a mission to take down damage control, everybody knows you can't do that by yourself.
This is true.
So the question is, for the time being, who's willing to help?
Well, I know two people.
Oh, we know everybody know one.
Everybody should know two people
But
that are willing to
me
help
and
at
you,
this moment.
but me and you, we think alike, so we know who the other one is, and because we've been waiting on that one for quite some time now.
And there's also a third one that's already there. So you could actually get three other people to help you with them. And I know, of course, one of them we're going to talk about Charlotte Flair. Clearly, that's one of them. But
That's
the
the
other
obvious.
one is either one or both of the Kabuki Warriors.
Ooh.
Yes, I went with the throwback, the Kabuki
Ooh.
Warriors.
Well, that's another one we've been waiting on. Pop her face around too.
Mm-hmm. And there's also another person that could technically help out that me and you are both thinking about, but we don't know where she's going to be at yet, so we can't say
We have
yay
no
or nay.
idea.
We don't know if
We,
she's going to
we have
NXT.
we don't have
You know what I'm saying?
no
Raw,
idea.
SmackDown, the Performance Center. We don't know what's popping.
We know nothing. See, this is
Right.
what WWE is good at, okay? But they don't want you to know anything. They know how to cover it up.
Right. So people all the time, we got all these dirt sheets and stuff. Y'all only get what they want you to have. If they don't want that information to get out, it does not get out.
Notice she been on Raw. She did a face to face with Becky Lynch, and everybody's like, "Ooh, okay." She did a face to face with Charlotte Flair, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, give me this right, sign me up right now." We still don't know where she at, and she even
And they
showed her
don't
face
want us
on
to
the pay per
know.
view,
Yeah, they
and
don't
she
even want
showed
us
her
to know.
face at the pay per view, and we still don't know where she at.
That is correct.
See,
That is so correct.
if they can hide the Rock from us, they can hide anybody. Because you just can't hide the Rock. That's just like, how the hell did y'all? How did y'all cover that up? The man was just 45 minutes away in Boulder, Colorado, hanging out with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show.
They found a way, man. You know why they found a way? Because that's what they do. But not a lot else to really talk about in regards to SmackDown.
See, this is like, so this is the first time. So this is like our first show we do together as far as wrestling. But when I used to do my own wrestling, I should say this is usually when once you get to November, December, that's really when the goal is okay. Let's make it to Survivor Series because that's the last main event of the year. Once we get there, How can we safely get to Royal Rumble? This is usually the time when WWE goes down a bit. Because the goal is let's get to in this case, let's get to Tampa with everybody in good health. And then we on the road. This is usually where it starts at, okay? But they still know we still gotta put some shows, some to try to make it somewhat still good. This is really where it usually starts at.
Yep, I agree with that. And not a lot more specifically SmackDown related to talk about. Of course, Cena versus Solo is official. Bianca versus Io is official. You know, and they did a good job of trying to make LA Knight look like a threat. With Reigns coming in to try to attack him after the match, and him standing over Reigns talking trash at the end of the show. So they did what they were supposed to do, and they made him look like a credible challenger to a certain extent. So, we'll see how the bill goes. I always take these things 50-50 with WWE because we know how they roll. But we're going to bring on our AEW correspondent here. Yeah. We're going to bring on our AEW correspondent here, Mr. Steve. What's going on? And we're going to let Steve give us some thoughts on AEW.
There you go. Sorry.
Yeah. So
I double clicked and muted myself. I'm sorry.
I would say this. AEW, this is your time to make your move, okay? WWE is in a chill mode right now, okay? WWE is chilling right now.
Absolutely. So, Steve, we will start with Dynamite. Okay. Tell us what happened on Dynamite and what your thoughts are.
Well, I mean, obviously the main story right now in AEW, across the board, except for Rampage, because he wouldn't belittle himself on Rampage, but he is on Collision and Dynamite, is obviously MJF. And they're basically, I mean, he's got the Jay White stuff, who Jay White obviously still has his belt. They have the Samoa Joe stuff. They have Wardlow stuff. They have Powerhouse Hobbs looking on now. They obviously still have the Adam Cole situation, where that story hasn't obviously been completely told yet because they're still the RH tag team champions. But AEW is still doing what they have been doing for a while, which if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't, right? They have really, really good professional wrestling matches every week with not a lot of build to those matches. Like, hey, these two guys are wrestling and they're going to wrestle for 18 minutes and it's going to be really good. But why are these two guys wrestling? And that, I mean, that's the biggest difference between obviously the two, which is why they're not really in competition, because they're completely different things. And you can like them so fast. You can like them both, or you can like neither, or you can like one or the other, but they're not the same. Like, they're not the same thing.
But not so fast, Stephen. There are a few storylines that that you have to give them credit for.
Yeah.
One of those being the entirety of the MJF situation.
Yes.
But another mini storyline within that has been Rock Hard Juice Robinson and his pursuit of MJF in the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
Yes. Well, the stuff with MJF, which I don't know if you agree with me or not, I don't think they were going to have them win the tag championship originally. I think they just saw how much everyone loved it. And they were like, well, we'd be stupid not to have these guys do it. We have to keep it going. And of course, unfortunately, Adam Cole gets hurt. Freak thing, jumps off the stage at Arthur Ashe, hurts himself, has to have surgery. But obviously that story actually has been good. The Bang Bang Gang has been outstanding. That whole stuff has been great. And they are doing, I'll also give them credit. It's on a much, much, much lesser scale than that. But the whole Sky Blue thing with her obviously she's going heel, but once you get the mist in the eyes and now all of a sudden, you change the makeup, you change your gear. So they're at least trying.
So it's the series of unfortunate events with Sky Blue that's going to make her go to the dark side.
Yeah, sorry, because I was listening. I don't mean to talk about stuff that I didn't watch because I haven't watched WWE in a while, but you guys are 100% right. Actually, Cool said it. Drew McIntyre losing the match to Seth is the perfect time to have that next promo of like, I tried to do everything for you and you still don't back me up or whatever. So it's an easy way to have him go heel, after a loss type thing. And that's kind of Sky Blue can do. Like, I smiled and, hugged everybody and was so nice and you didn't care about me. So now, whatever. So that type of thing where it down the line and then eventually you do that, like Willow still helps her, Statlander still helps her. And then eventually she, turns on both of them and goes with Julia Hart. But so they are trying a little bit. One great example, obviously, like the, what was it? Oh, Jay White and sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but because it was on Friday night, like the Jay White Juice and AR Fox. You're just like, hey, this is a really good match, but why is it happening? But the other thing that's happening, sorry, I forgot, which is a possibility here. And again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but we could talk about they form together because obviously they tape Dynamite and Rampage at the same time. Then you have Collision, so it kind of blends together. What they're kind of doing with the House of Black, and then you had Roosh and them helping FTR to fend off, and then so there's some stuff there that they're planning a little bit. But I think obviously the biggest thing right now in AEW obviously is MJF and that entire storyline. And to me, again, and you mentioned earlier about, and WWE's obviously been great at this for 30. Well, I guess the internet has been now along that long, but for 25 years, is they tell you what they want to know, right? They give you Metzler or the dirt sheets or whatever. They're going to tell you what they want you to know. And the fact that AEW is kind of in that gray area right now of, well, what are we going to do with Adam Cole or with MJF? Obviously, the fact that he's made such a mention of the bidding war of 2024 on AEW TV, and the fact that now they're basically making him a huge face, even though I like that he still wrestles as a heel, right? Like, he still cheats, he still takes shortcuts, but his promos are face. His after the match, he gives respect, but he's still going to rake your eyes. He's still going to, do underlying things because you work the whole I'm your scumbag thing. So it works. Much like, Austin was. Austin was the biggest face in the world, but it's not like he acted like a face, right? Like, but he got to beat up his boss. So who doesn't like that, right? So who doesn't like to beat up their boss every now and again? So to me, it makes me think that MJF already has a long-term contract with AEW. Because other than that, it doesn't make any sense for AEW to do what they've done with him for the last year if there's not something already in play, besides less just making him that much more money when he goes to WWE.
Yeah, and the fact that him and, for some odd reason, Kenny Omega decided to have a match.
Yeah. Yeah. And not just any match, a effing banger. Like, it was amazing. And that was and now that actually, at least, now there wasn't there was a 30-second talk between them to build to it on Wednesday, but at least it made sense, right? Oh, you almost broke my record. You got 6 days until you break my record. So in 3 days, we're going to wrestle so I can beat you and you can't beat my record. Like, that, at least on the surface, makes sense. Like, you don't need 25 minutes to explain that. Like, that makes sense. But yeah, when he already has Samoa Joe, Wardlow, Hangman watching, or Powerhouse Hobbs watching matches, you still have the Jay White stuff. He doesn't even have possession of his belt right now, So like, and then you throw Kenny in the mix too, and so yeah, if you want to belittle AEW, I could see people will be like, well, why are they throwing a Kenny Omega MJF match randomly on a Collision on a Saturday night? And maybe the answer is just to try to get good ratings, which I guess is a simple enough answer. But it was as a wrestling fan, you're like, well, I got to see a really good wrestling match against two good wrestlers, so I'll take it. But when you're involved with 5 different feuds at the same time, it gets a little bit crazy.
Go ahead, cool, because they got MJF everywhere.
Yeah, they do.
Here's the thing with MJF.
True.
You have to have multiple challenges, right? He needs partners, right? So there are a couple of guys. I know of one guy that's been a partner of his in the past. It was with MLW that's asked for his release. So let's say he gets his release. Where do you think he's going? He's going to come to MJF and help MJF. That's going to lead to him turning on MJF in the future. But I think, that would be a way to go. And then let's not forget, there's another part of the whole MJF story that makes a lot of sense here, and it's a little weird. Max Caster stalking MJF, sending pictures, being real like weird MJF.
That whole thing, yeah. Yep.
That's another angle because I think they're going to be the ones that end up helping MJF because bringing in somebody from the outside, you don't really have time for that where you're at right now.
And they've already.
I think it's going to be them.
And then obviously he has a match on Wednesday where he gets to pick any three partners, right? And Roderick and the Kingdom have said, "Come, I'll help you because you were friends with Adam." He already said no. Then the Acclaim came and said they would be it. He said no. I mean, Samoa Joe has said, "Hey, I'll be your friend as long as you give me a shot." He's turned that. So you have all these, and you could do obviously the quick he says it's not going to be the Acclaim, but eventually then it's going to be the Acclaim because he shows up for that, which is easy to do, right? You show up for that match. He can't find the three partners, and it's a 4-on-1. Acclaim saves the day. So then maybe now he finally will let Max Caster be his friend. So you have all of that. I wish Adam Cole's injury wasn't actually legit, so it was all work, and he could come out with some people, but obviously that's unfortunately not true. I mean, Sean Spears and FTR were with Max obviously at one time. I mean, there's been people that he's been with at different times. It obviously, never worked out because at that time he was, heel Maxwell and he used everybody to get, just keep the title. But there's definitely options. And, FTR and Spears makes more sense than, trying to bring in random people or even trying to justify the Acclaim truthfully, when just on your television show on Saturday, he told them, "You're not going to be my partners," right? Not that that's never happened on wrestling. That you said,
but you got to think about this as well, though. This is something else that you have to think about. There's a devil out there. The devil could be one of his partners. We don't know who that is.
Yes.
Everybody, of course, bad guys want to say it's Max. It's not Max. It's clearly not Max.
Yeah.
So you have that angle that you got to figure out what's going on with that. What are you going to do with that? Who that is? Mm-hmm. So there's so many things. The Acclaim to me makes the most sense because they're already there.
Yep, I agree.
So it doesn't matter what he says; they're already there. Now the other thing could be maybe he takes Samoa Joe up on an offer. Maybe Kenny Omega says, "You know what, man? We had a good banging match, man.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
I'll back you up." Right? Then you got to figure out another partner. Or maybe Kenny Omega gets. Maybe you get Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Page. Right? Maybe they say help him. Maybe they help him. And then, Hangman and Hangman and Samoa Joe say, "Look, we'll help you now, but in the future, we're looking for a match," which makes sense.
It does.
There's only so many ways you can go with this to actually make sense with the lack of storytelling that AEW does on a long-term scale.
Right.
So it would have to be someone that's already touched with him before. It's not going to be the Kingdom and Roddy White because he doesn't really like them.
Right. Yeah.
Right? He just
and
doesn't
the one
like
thing about, and obviously Kenny and Hangman probably, makes more sense than Kenny and the Bucks. But even Kenny and the Bucks would technically make more storyline sense because they're friends with Adam Cole. So that would make more sense of them saying, "Hey, Adam's your friend. Adam's
we're
my
gonna sit here
friend."
and have a storyline conversation about AEW. Is that what you really are gonna do?
Well, they've already touched on the fact that those people are friends, though. AEW has already had storylines where Adam Cole and they are friends.
Right, but they've also had, the last storyline they had was Adam Cole turning on them before he got hurt and messed up his brain.
Yes, that's very true. But there's also been, 5,475,000 examples in wrestling of people turning and then returning and then turning and then returning. So, but yes, the storyline long-term arc, if you will. Yeah, definitely a lot more blurrier lines than defined, in a program that's more storyline based, where AEW is more wrestling based. So
Playmaker. want you to hop in here. What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Sounds like to me, Tony Khan has a lot of decisions on his hands right now. Because your main star is here. Now you put him in a situation where he has to go against 4 guys. And right now, he don't want no friends.
Right.
So you have to find a way, okay. 1, who are the 3 guys that I can actually make this work with? And 2, how can I present it in a way that it works? So basically, with him not wanting any partners, it sounds like, well, if that's the case, and he's supposed to be a baby face, right? So you gonna need some baby faces to come save the day. But it sounds like what the son that you just did could be Acclaim.
Yeah.
That's like the most logic choice right now. Because MJF can continue his, I don't want no friends, I don't care. I got this, I'll take on all 4 of y'all. And then throughout the match, he's getting his butt whooped over and over. And it got to a point where, this is about to be the end. And then you can hit the McLean music and they come running down.
Yo, listen.
That's what it sounds. This is the vision I'm getting right here.
Yep. And it's very easy for MJF after the fact to say, hey, I appreciate that you got my back here. Yeah, we won that match. I got my title back. We're still not friends. And he can still walk out and keep his not needing them if he wants to. Or you can go the other direction.
And then the devil jumps him at the top of the ramp. That would be great.
There you go.
And the Acclaim watched because he didn't want to be their friend. There you go.
Yep.
Because of course Max would try to go, but Billy and would grab him and be like, no, you're not going because he said he didn't.
Anthony and Billy will grab Max and not let him help him or something.
Yep.
And then of course is the devil going to be another person that is also going for his title at the time when he already technically has 5 feuds? Or obviously it can't be Jay White because it showed him attacking Jay White. It wasn't big enough, obviously, to be Wardlow or Hobbs, or Samoa Joe. So then you get to your question, but I'm cool. I'm with you. I like if that booking. If that happened, I would mark out. I would love it. I was like, this is perfect. Now he gets attacked as he's says thank you to them, but he walks away. I don't need you. He got his belt back. He's almost to the ramp, and then boom, Devil Mask comes out from behind, attacks him, and
then Samoa Joe comes out and puts him in a sleeper.
Yeah,
puts the devil to sleep. It says I'm gonna have your back because I want that championship.
Yep.
And you're gonna give me my shot.
Yep. And then we find out the Devil Mask was Roderick Strong.
he took the man right out my head. That's exactly who I'm thinking it is.
The devil is Roderick Strong. I may take a month hiatus from AEW because that would be the trashiest, most garbage doo-doo juice storyline ever.
Because look, because as far as I know, when it comes to the devil, he's done nothing athletic, right? He just been a straight attack from behind beatdown, right?
It better be an introduction to somebody new, is all I'm saying. You know how I like the devil to be? I would like the devil to be Dolph Ziggler. That would be great.
That would be great.
The devil's going to be Roderick Strong. Let's be honest. It's going to be Roderick Strong because Tony Khan has no imagination.
And he
unfortunately, you guys are probably right.
And the beatdown, the devil had a couple other people with him, which easily could have been Dolph's brother, who's already there, plus a couple of the workman boys or whatever, workhorse jobber boys, whatever that he's been with. So it would even make sense.
It'll be Roderick Strong and the Kingdom who are the ones that jumped in because
if only you're. So I hope it's your idea, but unfortunately, it's gonna be what I just said.
I'm just like, yo, this is like, hold on. So you attack Jay White.
Like a 2-month break after that because I can't.
You attack Jay White. You're coming after MJF. It can't be Adam Cole because Adam Cole's on the show. Thank you, Kevin Owens, for letting us know that. And the only person I logically can think of, the only person I can logically think of is Roderick Strong, because this whole thing started with Roderick Strong.
True.
Yeah, yeah, it could be. But before we get to the picks, which Steve will probably won't because he didn't care about that.
Oh, I
Or
know.
I mean, I
Yeah,
did look at the
there's
card.
one thing.
I did look at the card, and I have my picks. But yeah,
Okay, cool. Okay, you can do your picks. That's fine. One thing before we go there, we have to talk about. So Sting is on this last legs of his journey.
with Ric Flair.
Got Ric Flair.
Woo!
He's got Darby Allin, and they need a third partner. So Christian and his two sons. No, that's
So first of all, when did Nick Wright
has
go
the
over?
best. Christian has the best heel persona,
Yes.
I think, in all of wrestling right now. Because you like a little bit of what he says, you hate a little bit of what he says, but you kind of see where he's coming from.
Yep.
Right? So he has the best heel persona. Now, if we're talking about the best heel, there's nobody better than Dominic Mysterio because they won't even let him talk. But we're talking about like if he puts the microphone, is booze.
Bruh, you know how it was confirmed Dom was the best heel? When Triple H said what he said, I'm like, there you go.
Pretty much. But so do we believe the Edge is going to be the guy to help them? Do we believe Edge is going to really get his head out of his arse in time to help him?
What is Edge doing anyway?
I mean, they've already set it. They have set it up like he's going to be because they had the Sting and Darby and Ric Flair talking to him about open your eyes and see what's going on. So they've semi teased it. Well, for AEW, it's the best that they can do for teasing something. I'll admit they're not great at that. So it's the best that they've done to at least tease it that it's possible that it's him. And I mean, obviously, Lord, please don't be Ric Flair. I don't want to see him die on Wednesday. So yeah, please be, Adam Copeland and not, an 80-year-old. I know he's 76 or whatever he is, but still, hopefully he's just along to stand next to Sting and doesn't actually take a bump. But knowing him, he does want to have one more match.
Let me say, knowing Ric Flair, he's taking some type of bump.
Ric Flair still wants to have one more match. So, but hey,
no, you got to be a man. Ric Flair gonna do something. Ric Flair gonna do something to get bumped.
Yeah, even if he does it to himself, he's gonna do something. He's gonna elbow drop his suit again, like it's 1998 on Nitro.
Any more bumps in his entire life?
Hey,
it's Ric Flair.
He needs to do nothing physical.
I 100% agree with you.
We agree with you, but it's Ric Flair.
I just want the man to make it. I just want the man to make it from the show alive. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
I
100% agree.
I don't want Scarlett to have to come in and if Dad's in the hospital hanging on from taking too many bumps. But and Andrade got to come out and get his maybe ex-father-in-law. I don't know what's happening there, but maybe ex-father-in-law.
Well, to say that, I mean, Andrade could come out and help his father-in-law out. But
they could go that way. They could go that way. I thought about that too.
Because that's the thing is if it's not, I guess that's the better question. If it's not Edge, Adam Copeland just sounds weird. If it's not Edge,
I'm not doing
who else?
No, I'm not doing. Like I said last week, I am not going around saying the rated R superstar Adam Copeland. Edge.
Yeah, it's Edge. Yeah. Because that's the thing is if it's not him, who else could it be that would make any sense? And if it's a big enough name, I know it doesn't have to make sense because then as a wrestling fan, we're just
Andrade actually would make some sense,
right? Like, but
because he's a good guy now. Apparently, he's no longer part of La Faction and Gobernable, which doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
Because he literally started it, but whatever.
Yep. And I love how they had the interview with him on Collision right after those guys came out. They're like, "Oh yeah, what do you have to say? That's a lot of things going on." And just like, "Yes, I'm a businessman." Just like, what? That okay, whatever. But
so
he's a great wrestler. I like when he wrestles, but yeah, the storyline of how that happened. Like Rush's his brother, right? Like how that happened that he's not a part of the faction that he started anymore without some sort of huge blow off match. Whatever. But
what you say, Playmaker?
So pretty much it was a Judgment Day situation with Edge, but without the match.
But they haven't even mentioned him, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Like you don't know if like next week he might walk up with him in the middle with his helmet again. Like, we don't know. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah, they literally had an interview with Andrade right after those guys came out, and literally all it was not Dasha, whoever the Lexi Nair or whatever, the backstage woman who's not Renee, saying like, "Oh, and I know you have a history with them" or something like that, and then him just being like, "Yes, I'm a businessman. I do what's best for business." You're just like, "Wait, what?" Like you're just gonna just semi-mention that you used to lead this faction, you started this faction, and now all of a sudden you're just. But yeah. But Andrade, going back to the original thing, yeah, Andrade, I guess, could make sense if they wanted to, but it's got to be Edge, right? Though I know he already said, "Oh, I'm not here to fight Christian. I'm not going to fight Christian." But obviously, that's wrestling lingo for we 100% know that you're going to fight Christian. So
pretty much it's basically, do you want the pop?
Yeah.
Or do you want the story? The way AEW usually go, they want the pop. So it has to be Edge.
But see, the thing is, I mean, I said this last week, I'm going to say it again. Edge isn't really like, he's not a name that brings you more eyes. Like, people that already watch might be like, cool, Edge is on AEW. But Edge is not like CM Punk.
That first week was ridiculous.
Right, but that was a pop from people who were already going to be there anyway. Like, there weren't people outside of the normal AEW fans saying, "Oh, Edge is there, let me go watch." It was the AEW fans excited that he's there. You know what I'm saying? CM Punk brought people that weren't already fans to AEW to see him.
Just because probably just because it's been so long since CM Punk wrestled.
But I don't see Edge having the same impact.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair.
I think even like a Dolph Ziggler might bring more people just because you're like, oh, he's gonna go and he can do anything, right? Edge is like, at this point in his career, he doesn't have much longer to wrestle.
Right.
Either he's gonna be a bad guy, turn with Christian and go that route, and they're gonna win tag team championships, which probably isn't gonna happen, at least not for a few months. Christian will end up losing when this is all over, getting turned on. He'll go away for a few months. He'll come back and they'll have their run before they both retire.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's names that people would say, "Oh, I'll watch because he's on there," and names that people who already watched the show would say, "Let me make sure I tune in because he's on there." I think Edge is a "let me make sure I tune in because he's on there," not a "oh, I'm going to watch because he's on there" name. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's a great analogy and breakdown and analogy. Is that the difference between I'm going to watch regardless. Oh, it's cool that he's on, or like you said, somebody who's not going to watch. Now all of a sudden I'm going to watch. Like, and that's like if The Rock, for perfect example, like you talk about that, if you're billed like, oh, The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania in Philadelphia, right? Yeah, it's in Philly. If Rock's going to be in WrestleMania in Philadelphia, there are people who's never even watched wrestling probably because of obviously his career since, that it's going to be like, well, I'm going to watch that. Like, let's get a couple people together and watch WrestleMania, because he's obviously much higher name than Edge. Like CM Punk hadn't been a wrestler for like what, a decade. So like even it was fairly well known. I mean, it wasn't like a secret. I think everybody kind of knew. But
and
even
did like 80 events in Chicago while he was there too.
Right. But like even just we're having it at United Center, and even a rumor of CM Punk being there, they sold out the United Center in like 5 minutes, right? Like so like he's a name that like, yeah, if he's gonna be there, normal non-AEW fans are gonna watch. But yeah, Edge is like, oh yeah, he's cool. But at this point of his career, which actually, by the way, cool, what you just said about that trajectory is exactly what I think is going to happen. Christian is eventually going to get turned on by Luchasaurus and Wayne. He's going to go away for a little bit, and then him and Edge are going to come back together, and they're going to have probably a short, but at least a little bit run as a tag champs. But that's
and it could be AEW, that could be Ring of Honor, AEW, or probably by somebody else by then, and they could be their champions. They'll have 30 championships by then, but whatever.
Yeah.
So before we finish, guys, we got 10 minutes before Raw comes on. We got to go over the Crown Jewel card. All right, so let's bang into that. So the confirmed matches so far: Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest, We'll start with you, Playmaker, and then we'll go to you, Steve, and then I'll finish off.
The way this is looking, if Cody Rhodes does make it, and we talking straight up, Cody Rhodes is winning. The only way Damian Priest wins is some foolishness happens.
So one of two things happens. Cody either can't wrestle, he comes out with somebody else and they wrestle, or number two, he tries to gut it out. Damian Priest puts him in some type of move and he passes out from the pain of his leg. So either Cody doesn't wrestle, somebody else wrestles, and Damian Priest is going to win either way, is what I have. Because it's either going to be an injured Cody or somebody else who Damian Priest is probably going to be. That's my prediction. Sorry, Steve, I jumped over you.
No, it's okay. I'm hoping that there's still the slow build that eventually Cody is going to get the world title at WrestleMania next year. So I do have him winning but though there is a possibility, I know we'll get to it in a minute, that Damian does still have that Money in the Bank to maybe come together for Seth and Drew later on. But I do have Cody somehow winning, making himself, find a way to win with the injuries.
All right, and then we got John Cena versus Solo Sikoa.
Do we even have to say?
No. That promo from SmackDown told it all.
I still think Solo wins. I think we started to see the Bloodline dominate.
It's not clean. It's not clean.
Well, yeah. I mean, Cena's definitely not getting pinned clean, I think.
So here's a question. Here's a different scenario for you guys to think about. I feel where you're coming from, but John Cena comes out. John Cena is probably going to be there for another month, and then he's going to be gone. Right? Hollywood's opening back up. He's going to have movies to do. It's not going to matter. So John Cena comes out. He makes this emboldened promo. He's got to win, or everybody's not going to believe in him, and blah, 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 and then goes out and loses. Does that hurt John Cena at all? No. John Cena could lose the next 10 matches that he's in, and it will not hurt his standing in people's eyes. Solo Sikoa beats John Cena. The Bloodline starts to get more credibility back. They start to look like the dominant faction that they once were. Doesn't make sense for John Cena to win this match, even though he had his impassioned promo. This is the same type of thing that we get with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, which needs a new name. That is stupid to have an undisputed championship and a World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H, I expect better out of you. Solo's the guy to me who needs to win the match. He can't take the loss to John Cena. He's gotten up every opportunity, right? John Cena's dumped him out of the ring, beat him and Jimmy at times. This is the chance for him to get one up and show, hey, he's the enforcer again. I'm going Solo.
I mean, everything you said makes sense. I just think it's John Cena and he's not losing. But everything you said is true. Everything you said is true. I agree with everything you just said. I don't see Cena losing.
Hey, Cena took an L to Austin Theory at WrestleMania. If he takes an L to Austin Theory at WrestleMania,
he did take an L.
I don't have a lot of. I understand that he's not worried about really winning matches, just being a draw and helping and getting fat checks.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Like I said, he could wrestle 3 times a year in WWE for the next 5 years and lose every single one of them and still not hurt his standing at all. Right. So, yeah.
All right, guys. Then we have the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. Playmaker.
It pains me to say this. Io's keeping that title.
Steve?
You can't be on a mission to destroy a faction and then win, and all of a sudden win the title out the gate. That doesn't happen.
Agreed.
So unfortunately, Io's keeping the title.
Yeah. I just put Io in parentheses with help. Like it's not going to be clean, but that I do think Io keeps it.
Pretty much, yeah. Damage control is always there. All right, then we got Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. Just remember, guys, before you make your pick, all it takes is one punch.
Go ahead, Steve, because this one, oh my God.
Well, I guess my only thing would, and I don't know his status, is Logan Paul at the spot where he's going to be there week to week?
He could be.
Because if he could be, then I could definitely see them letting him win. But if he's still going to be a 3-4 time a year guy, obviously putting the belt on, especially putting a secondary title belt on him, doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I guess I'll say Ray, but I could definitely see because Logan Paul is, I mean, he's made for the WWE. Like, I mean, he's made for it. He's perfect for it. So I could definitely see him winning it, but I will stick with Mr. 619.
This is where I phone a friend, as they used to say on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And that friend's gonna be Cool McCain. Because Cool, we have two directions we can go with here.
We do.
On the one hand, we have constantly said on this program and on other programs that darn Logan Paul is good. He is good. Mm-hmm. We give him we don't like him, but we give him credit. That man is good at what he does. But on the other hand, we talked about this earlier. If there's gonna be a turn within the group of LWO, it won't make sense to Rey Mysterio to lose the title yet.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna give you. Follow this quick scenario. Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio, LWO's good guys. You know they're gonna be in the back. We get to a critical point in the match, and all of a sudden we hear Dominic Mysterio's music. Whether he comes out or not, we hear his music. Distraction. Logan Paul, he turns around, boom. New United States champion, Logan Paul. Thanks to Dominic Mysterio screwing his dad out of his championship. Nothing would make Dominic happier. Nothing would make Logan happier. Nothing would tick Rey Mysterio off more.
And nothing even make it. And he definitely become the most hated heel in wrestling.
Absolutely. And you see he has no problem with that. All right. So then next we have Roman Reigns in his match. And Roman Reigns has a message for you, right? Come on, Roman, play your message. Play your message for the people. You're not gonna play your message for the people tonight.
Oh my God. Nah.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it, Roman. That's how we doing. That's how we doing, Roman.
Acknowledge me.
All right. And
I'm just
then
gonna go ahead and get out the way. I hated when I found out this match was happening. I hated it from the get-go.
Yep.
I know who's winning this match.
Who's winning this match, Playmaker?
It's the Tribal Chief. The head of the...
Hey, even LA Knight agrees with you. That's crazy.
Come on, man.
That's crazy. Even LA Knight.
There obviously there's a way to do it, and hopefully they do it. That LA Knight will lose. Obviously he'll lose, but hopefully he can lose without looking like a schmuck, right? So there could be some tomfoolery, there could be some help, there could be whatever. You can still make LA Knight look good if you want him to become, one of your main. Continue to be one. I mean, obviously they're pushing him, but to continue to be one of your main stars. And like you said earlier, cool, because I was watching. You're trying to make him be a legitimate threat, right? That somebody over the age of 12 actually thinks there's a possibility that maybe Roman would lose. Right now, nobody thinks there's any chance that Roman would lose, right? So you can make him, again, you could obviously Roman's going to win. The Saudi prince probably paid $3 million for to make sure that he won. But you gotta at least make LA Knight look like not a laughing stock, which I think they will. But yeah, obviously Roman's going to win that match, obviously.
All right, so we got the Fatal 5-Way Raw Women's Championship: Rhea Ripley against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez. So I'm sure Playmaker will agree with me when I say I'm not 100% sure who's going to win, but Zoe Stark is going to take the pin.
Yeah.
So who do you have out of the five winning?
Mommy's keeping the title.
Okay.
If they continue this run with Judgment Day, Mommy's keeping the title.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, what you got?
I mean, I do agree that Rhea is keeping the title. I hope she keeps the title. I'm a big Rhea fan. I love Rhea. But it being a multi-woman match is the opportunity for her to lose it without being pinned. So I guess I'll give like a 5% chance it's somebody else. But yeah, 95% Rhea retains.
I'm going to go Nia pinning Zoe Stark when Rhea Ripley gets taken out of the match or can't get to the pin in time. Mm-hmm. Rhea still looks strong. Rhea's much better as the hunter than the hunted. So you give Nia the belt, you give her a short run. Of course, Rhea's going to end up getting the belt back. But I would love to see that happen. That's a little twist.
Okay.
And they've been pumping Nia since she returned, so why not give her a championship when she doesn't have to beat Rhea Ripley?
Right.
All right, and then the World Heavyweight Championship match: Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Playmaker, who you got? Last one.
Here's a simple question that's gonna help you. That's gonna help y'all answer this question. Who do you want to turn? And when you answer that question, that's who's losing the match. Me personally, Seth Rollins keeping that world title because Drew McIntyre, it's time for you to turn here.
I concur. Yeah, Seth Rollins for sure. Excuse me. Seth freaking Rollins. I apologize.
Seth will keep the belt. Does he walk out with the belt? No, that's another question.
Yeah.
At some point, Damian Priest has to cash in the Money in the Bank. At some point.
He's not cashing in that crown.
But this is going to be a great time, though. Think about it, Playmaker. Drew McIntyre is going to beat the fool out of Seth Rollins, even though he loses the match.
Mm-hmm.
We said that when they did the last man standing match with Shinsuke.
Right, but that was, I mean...
And they beat the brace out each other.
Shinsuke, even in that more physical Shinsuke, let's be real, there was never any doubt who was going to win that match. And Shinsuke was never going to beat Seth Rollins.
Matter of fact, you wanted Damian Priest to catch in during the match. Because it was a last man standing match.
Or after the match. One way or the other.
It could be the reverse of God, what was that? The San Francisco WrestleMania, right? Where Seth lost to Randy Orton earlier in the night. And then during the championship match, Seth came out, cashed in. So now, then if he comes cash in, well, you have the champion. And if you flip it around, okay. So Cody beats Damian Priest. Damian Priest then cashes in and becomes the champion, world champion. Now, Cody, who just beat him, has a claim to face him again to win the world championship.
Yeah, but that's not finishing the story.
It's not finishing the actual story that you need to tell, though. No, true.
My problem is they want the title. They want the tag team titles back.
I mean, it's not going to happen. I'm just throwing it out there to give people something to watch for. I know it's not.
No, if they wouldn't have won the tag team titles, then I'm
it still wouldn't happen. They're not going to do it until some weird time. Yeah. It'll be like a live event in Idaho or somewhere, Wisconsin.
That would be interesting though, because they never done that.
They'll do something weird like that.
They never done that.
Because it's been too many chances for Damian Priest to cash this in that he hasn't. So they're going to do it at some weird point, I think. Not happy about it, but I think that's what's going to happen.
I'll be a first, though. Remember just like when they started AJ Styles to Jinder Mahal?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yep, give them something juicy. But all right, gentlemen, we have come to the end of the episode as was on. Yes. So we'll start with you, Steve. We'll go with you, Playmaker. After that, let the people know where they can find you.
All right. Hey, great to be on real quick in between. My son's football season ended on Saturday. His basketball season starts next week, so I love it. Great to come in and talk wrestling with you two fine folks. S-Man1720 or All Eyes On, the letter U, All Eyes On You Hoops on Twitter. Easiest way to find me. Very, very soon, you'll be able to find me on the NBA Sip-Off on Thursday nights. And hopefully I'll be able to get on a few more times and talk some wrestling.
All right, Playmaker. The hardest working man. The hardest working man.
Once after Christmas is done, it's it's really all eyes on wrestling. After Christmas. Yeah, y'all already know. Facebook, down there, Playmaker Silence. D20 Playmaker, Twitter, Instagram. The Playmakers blog. I'm everywhere. So.
Yep.
Don't worry, I got more shows to do that I'm not happy about.
Wednesday, all you gotta do is follow the hat, baby. Just follow the hat. 8:30 p.m. EST. We're talking Eagles. And y'all know it's gonna be a good show because next week, guess what we playing? The Arlington football team. Friday morning, 10 a.m. WDJYFM.com or tune in at WDJY. You can find Play Callers radio show. Of course, same night, 7:30 p.m. EST, Play Callers Sports Talk on playcallersportstalk.com/live. NFC Beast for all those that are fans of any NFC East team. Saturday, you can catch that on the Eagles Elite channel as well. That's youtube.com/Eagles Elite. And also Sunday mornings, noon, right before your game start. WDRB Radio, WDRBmedia.com. Or the tuning app, WDRB Media. You can find Cool in the Game. And every week, we always are going to end sliding you into your 1 o'clock games and your later games with picks.
I like that. Like that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're done for the week. Enjoy Raw. We'll be back next week talking more wrestling.
Recapping Crown Jewel.
Always and forever.